Hi there, welcome to my review of the Dissent 133 glove system. I bought this last year, so I've been using it for about a year. It was sold as, a set of gloves that are really going to keep your hands warm if you feel like you suffer a bit in the winter, which I guess most of us do. Prior to that, I was using various sort of DHB style gloves. And then when it got really cold, I was using Gyro 500s or lobster mitts. Which I have to say were absolutely fantastic. The only issue I have with them is the dexterity issue. So when I saw these advertised, I thought it was worth a go. So they come in this rather nice box, which was just to keep everything together, I guess. It's got serving suggestions on the inside, with suggestions for how to wear it, whatever the weather is. I've always found that because everybody's different, it just depends what works for you. Some people run hot, some people run cold. And then inside the pack we have these very thin liner gloves. We have some sort of thicker liners with a sort of grippy palm there. And then we have these, which are a windproof shell glove really. They're also showerproof, or that's how they're marketed. And then we have these shoulder fabric waterproof outer gloves as well. Sizing, there was something on the website, you could print out a handprint, which meant that you got pretty much the right size. And I would say once I did that, it was pretty much spot on, except these, the small liner gloves, these seem to be a bit smaller than the others, which personally I find really annoying and really uncomfortable to wear, because when you've got 3 sets of gloves on, it can feel sort of quite constricted. So that's the system, and it's just a case of mixing up and trying it out really. And seeing what works for you best. So a year in, after plenty of use, little issues that I've noticed, some of the detailing and things off the fingers, that started to come off. Some of the grip on the palms as well has started to come away. They have had a lot of use, to be honest. The summer was a bit rubbish, so there was a lot of rain about, so I was using these right the way through really. But the actual structure of the gloves themselves, they're very well made. And they are, they're absolutely fine really. It's not like they're any seam splitting, anything like that. It's just the detailing more than anything. So in terms of them being, all winter, waterproof wise, I did have, a few issues. The problem was on my commute, which is about 45-50 minutes at this time of year, in persistent heavy rain, with these on, and the sort of thicker liner, I was finding that after about half an hour, my fingers inside were wet. And I think the reason for that is when you put these on, I can just show you now, this is the thicker liner, and you put this on over the top. You tend to put your gloves on last, so these are sitting on top of your jersey. I don't know if you can see there, the inner liner is actually proud of the cuff of the glove. So rain comes down your sleeve and it hits this liner first before it hits these. And so as it's running down your arm, basically the water just ends up in your glove at the bottom. I have found recently a really good solution to this was if you put a rain cape on over the top, which covers over the closure, it's much better. And I've managed to ride for up to sort of an hour and 20 and still keep everything inside fairly dry. The other little issue that I've noticed is that when you fasten these gloves, on the outside they fasten upwards so that rainwater actually sits in this pocket here. If they closed that way over, if the flat was the other way around, water would probably run off. So you end up with a lot of water coming out here as well, which then ends up going down the back, that was just something that I noticed. These gloves you can wear without the liners, they're quite comfortable on the inside as well. I particularly like the windproof ones because they are quite a close fitting glove. And along with that, I would say anything down to about 2 or 3 degrees, with either of these, they are comfortable. If I'm riding hard on a training ride, it's obviously a lot better. But what I would say is if you get down to 1 and below freezing, for me anyway, these gloves don't keep my hands that warm. My fingers start to go, they start to get cold. And I've found myself, if it's 2 degrees or below, I go back to the gyros that I've got because I know they will keep my hands warm, and they will right down to sort of -8, those sorts of temperatures. Really, I would say that's about it. I mean, they're a nice set of gloves. Are they worth £100? Well, I suppose it's up to you to make your own mind up. They will certainly keep your hands warm to a degree, down to most temperatures that we go out and ride in. But when it gets really, really cold, I've still found that lobster mitts are the way to go. If you've got, a mix of gloves as I had, it's really nice to have this set all together. Everything in one place. Oh, something I did forget is you get 3 of these little metal hangers as well. I still haven't worked out how these work. What I have found these are really good for is if you've got shoes and they're soaking wet and they've got the little tags on the back, they're brilliant for hanging up a pair of shoes in an airing cupboard and getting them dry. In fact, I use them for my winter boots all the time. They're a good glove system. Do they do what they claim they can do? Well, possibly not quite for me. But certainly, they're a nice set of gloves to use. And at £88, if you want everything in one package, then I'd say it's possibly worthwhile if you ride regularly. Okay, well, thanks for listening.